And welcome to Roadside Notes. I'm Christopher, the Route 66 chaplain, and these are the readings from the Faith and Good Courage Journal found at faithandgoodcourage.com. These are my stories from and for the road, a little grace for the miles ahead, and reminders that hope still travels with us. The center of attention without being seen. This is from my journal on April 30th, 2026. Center of attention without being seen. That's the line I use with couples when they're deciding whether or not I'm the right wedding officiant for their special day. I tell them that I have the toughest job of anyone on their wedding day. Tougher than the coordinator, the caterer, the photographer, and the videographer combined, including the florist, and I can prove it. I have to be the center of attention without being seen, and I have to do all the talking without being heard. I'm usually standing between two people who don't want to be the center of attention and don't want to be heard. My job is to carry the moment without owning the moment. They laugh when I say it, but I mean every word. Lately, I've been sitting and struggling with Matthew chapter 6, verse 1 through 6. It's the warning about practicing righteousness in front of others to be seen by them. It's a passage that keeps you honest. It doesn't condemn giving. It questions the audience. And if I'm being truthful, the passage makes me examine myself. I share stories. I write about buying breakfast. I write about buying cups of coffee. I talk about leaving notes under sugar dispensers at local diners on Route 66. And I ask people to live Matthew 25, to feed someone, to help someone, to move forward instead of away. It's a fine line. I'm teaching, or am I performing? Am I encouraging, or am I subtly hoping someone thinks, "Look at him"? That question isn't comfortable for me, but it's necessary. The other day, I saw a woman wearing a shirt that proudly displayed how much she had given to a cause. The number was bold, very visible. It was meant to be seen. My first reaction surprised me. My heart hurt a little. Not because giving is wrong. Giving is beautiful. But because I felt the tension between generosity and display. Then the harder question came. Have I ever done the same thing in a softer way? That's when I remembered the wedding line. If I've done my job well, no one leaves the ceremony talking about me. They remember the moment. They remember the vows. They remember the tears. They remember the love. If someone says, "That officiant was incredible," I've probably missed something. The goal isn't invisibility. The goal is clarity. The couple should shine. The covenant should shine. The love should shine. I'm just there to hold the microphone. And that's what Matthew 6 feels like to me. It's not telling us to hide our light. Jesus said to let it shine. It's telling us not to aim the light at ourselves. There's a difference between illuminating the path and spotlighting the performer. When I leave a note under the sugar, I don't sign it. Not because I'm trying to be mysterious. Because I don't want the gratitude to land on me. I want it to keep moving. When I share a story here, I'm not trying to say, "Hey, look what I did." I'm trying to say, "Hey, look, this is possible. You can do this too." But I have to check my heart constantly because ego doesn't need a stage. It's happy with a whisper. There's a quiet kind of leadership that doesn't announce itself. It feeds someone and walks away. It tips generously and says nothing. It prays in a parking lot without broadcasting the outcome. It stands at the front of a wedding and disappears into the vows. That's the kind of life I want. Not invisible, but properly positioned. I don't want to be admired for kindness. I want kindness to become normal. I don't want applause for generosity. I want generosity to feel accessible. And sometimes that means sharing the story. Not to elevate myself, but, well, to lower the barrier for someone else. because there was a time when I needed to see that it could be done in ordinary places. At a diner counter, in a coffee shop, in a parking lot beside a mechanic shop. If someone reads this and feels, nudged to act, then the story has done its work. If they forget my name but remember the idea, even better. That's the wedding metaphor again. Center of attention without being seen. Voice carrying without being heard. Love shining brighter than the one holding the microphone. If someone comes up to you afterward and says, "Hey, Reverend Christopher, what's his phone number?" that means I failed. But if they come up to you and say, "Hey, that guy that did your wedding, do you have his number?" that means I succeeded. In my roadside reflection, there's a difference between shining a light and shining it on yourself. Matthew 6 isn't about hiding your goodness. It's about guarding your motive. You can share what's possible without making yourself the point. Be the center of attention without being seen. Do the talking without being heard. And let love take the spotlight. If they remember the kindness but forgot your name, you've done it perfectly. And if I'm remembered for anything, I hope I'm remembered as the one that illuminated the path. Travel well, my friends. Have faith and good courage.